According to growing media speculation, Sarah Ferguson may be facing one of the most difficult decisions of her life. But the biggest challenge might not be rebuilding her public image or facing criticism from royal watchers. It could be something much more personal. What if simply returning home to the United Kingdom is the hardest step of all? That question has sparked fresh debate as new reports continue to circulate, raising claims about financial pressure, family concerns, and the possibility of renewed media scrutiny. But how much of it is fact, and how much is speculation? While headlines continue to focus on Meghan Markle and the latest royal developments, another story has quietly gathered momentum behind the scenes. Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, has once again become the subject of intense public interest. Several reports suggest she has been considering a return to Britain after spending time abroad, but commentators believe the decision may be far more complicated than it first appears. Behind the rumors are claims involving finances, personal challenges, and lingering controversies that have followed the York family for years. And that's where things start to become far more interesting. Some reports claim Sarah Ferguson is eager to return to the UK, but has been reluctant to do so because of fears that old controversies could immediately dominate the headlines again. It's important to remember that these claims remain unconfirmed, and there has been no official indication that she faces arrest or any legal action simply by returning to Britain. Still, the speculation has spread quickly, with unnamed sources suggesting she has been urged to proceed carefully. Could the real concern be less about legal consequences and more about stepping back into the spotlight after years of relentless public attention? For decades, Sarah Ferguson has remained one of the most recognizable members of the extended royal family. Even after her divorce from Prince Andrew, public fascination never truly disappeared. Every appearance, every interview, and every reported move has attracted attention. That is why some royal commentators believe any return to Britain would immediately reignite interest in both her personal life and the wider York family. But would she be prepared for that level of scrutiny once again? Much of the renewed discussion also comes against the backdrop of Prince Andrew's long-running controversies, including the continuing public attention surrounding his past association with Jeffrey Epstein. Those events have kept the York family under an intense spotlight, and analysts believe any major development involving Sarah Ferguson is almost certain to be viewed through that same lens. Even if her own plans are entirely personal, many believe the media would connect them to the family's wider story. And that could make even the simplest decision feel incredibly complicated. Adding to the speculation are reports suggesting Sarah Ferguson has received offers to give a tell-all interview. None of those reports have been officially confirmed, but the idea alone has sparked enormous interest. Some commentators have even suggested such an interview could become one of the most talked about royal conversations in years. Whether or not that ever happens remains unknown, but the possibility has only increased curiosity about what she may do next. Could staying silent actually be the strategy that speaks the loudest? Alongside questions about publicity are growing claims about financial pressure. Several reports suggest that maintaining a life outside the United Kingdom has become increasingly expensive. Travel costs, legal expenses, and the realities of living away from home have all been mentioned by commentators, although none of these claims have been officially verified. Even so, they have fueled speculation that practical concerns may eventually outweigh the desire to remain away from Britain. If that happens, would returning home become less of a choice and more of a necessity? Recent reports also claim Sarah Ferguson has spent time at an exclusive wellness retreat in the Austrian Alps. According to those accounts, she kept a very low profile while staying there, avoiding unnecessary public appearances and seeking a quieter environment. The details remain largely unverified, but many observers believe it reflects a desire to escape constant media attention, even if only temporarily. Yet privacy can be difficult when every reported movement attracts worldwide headlines. So was the retreat really a peaceful escape, or simply another chapter in an already public story? During this reported stay in Austria, speculation intensified after claims emerged that Sarah Ferguson met privately with her daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie. According to media reports, the sisters had attended a wedding in Vienna before traveling on to Salzburg, where Ferguson was believed to be staying. None of these reports have been officially confirmed, but they quickly became one of the biggest talking points among royal watchers. And that's because many believe the meeting may have involved far more than an ordinary family visit. Unnamed sources quoted by several publications claim the conversation between mother and daughters was deeply emotional. According to those reports, Sarah Ferguson spoke openly about the pressures she has allegedly been facing, including concerns about her future and the growing difficulty of remaining outside the United Kingdom. Because these accounts rely entirely on anonymous sources, they should be treated with caution. Even so, they have sparked widespread discussion. What exactly could have been said behind those closed doors? Some commentators have gone even further, claiming Sarah Ferguson discussed serious financial difficulties during the reported meeting. According to these accounts, she allegedly told Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie that her resources were becoming increasingly limited and that her current situation might not be sustainable forever. There has been no official confirmation of these claims, but they have added another layer of intrigue to an already closely watched story. If true, what kind of position would that place her daughters in? Reports also suggest Prince Andrew may be unable to provide significant financial support because of the major changes in his own circumstances over recent years. As a result, unnamed sources claim Sarah Ferguson may now rely more heavily on her daughters for emotional support and guidance. Whether those private conversations happened exactly as described is impossible to verify, but many observers believe Beatrice and Eugenie would naturally find themselves caught between family loyalty and public responsibility. And that balancing act may be far more difficult than it appears. Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie have worked hard to build their own lives, careers, and families while remaining connected to the monarchy. Any decision involving their mother would inevitably attract enormous public attention. Even an entirely private act of support could quickly become front-page news. Royal analysts believe that reality places the sisters in an unusually delicate position. They may simply want to help their mother, but every reported move is examined from every possible angle. Is there any way to support family without creating another royal headline? Their absence from the annual Trooping the Colour celebration only added more fuel to the speculation. Without an official explanation, commentators immediately began offering theories about where they had been and why they were missing from one of the monarchy's biggest public events. Reports linking their absence to the alleged meeting with Sarah Ferguson spread quickly, although no confirmed connection has ever been established. Even so, the timing alone was enough to keep royal watchers talking for days. At the same time, King Charles has continued shaping what many describe as a slimmer, more focused monarchy centered on senior working royals. Some commentators believe this wider shift increases the pressure on members of the extended royal family, including the York sisters. There is no public evidence the king has issued any warning or instruction regarding Sarah Ferguson, but analysts suggest Beatrice and Eugenie are likely aware of how closely every decision will be watched. That creates a situation with no easy answers and no perfect outcome. Interestingly, some reports claim Sarah Ferguson is no longer seeking any official return to royal duties. Instead, unnamed sources suggest her priorities have become much more personal. According to those reports, she simply wants to spend more time with her daughters and grandchildren while enjoying a quieter life away from constant media attention. Those claims remain unconfirmed, but they have resonated with many people who see the story less as a royal drama and more as a family trying to navigate extraordinary circumstances. But can someone so well known ever truly step away from the spotlight? Even if Sarah Ferguson returned quietly, many commentators believe intense media interest would follow almost immediately. Her profile remains so high that even routine activities could become major news stories. Past controversies would almost certainly be revisited, and every appearance would likely be analyzed in detail. Whether that level of attention is fair or not is another question entirely, but few doubt it would happen. And perhaps that's the biggest obstacle standing in her way. For now, the truth is much simpler than many headlines suggest. Much of what has been reported relies on anonymous sources, speculation, and commentary rather than confirmed facts. There is no official evidence supporting many of the more dramatic claims circulating online. What is undeniable, however, is that public curiosity surrounding Sarah Ferguson has never really faded. Every new report reignites old questions, and every rumor sparks fresh debate about what comes next. As the royal family continues to evolve, Sarah Ferguson's future remains uncertain. Will financial realities eventually bring her back to Britain? Will she choose family over privacy despite the inevitable media attention? Or will she continue building a quieter life away from the public eye? Only time will provide the answers. Until then, royal watchers around the world will continue following every development, wondering whether her next move will finally close an old chapter or open a completely new one. One decision could reshape not only her own future but also the story of the York family for years to come.